Okay, so right now I was just watching Anne with an E. Okay, and I came across this one scene wherein Minnie, who is a younger sister of Diana, was acting weird. And why I say that she was acting weird was because a moment earlier she was crying because Diana was not acting herself. Because obviously she is a teen, she was going through things, and she thought faking her personality would be a way out of it. But instead, when her sister observed everything that she was doing, she was so heartbroken because earlier, as a kid herself, Minnie May was acting up how she wanted. And when she looked up towards all the adults who were around her, she was really confused as to what it is and how it is that one must live in life, one must survive. And that made her quite confused, and which is why she was melting down in this one episode. She was having a breakdown, and Diana, after watching her, I don't really know if she consoled her or not. I might read it in the books someday, but then she kind of, in a way, understood herself and understood that she was walking on a path which was not right to her own being, and which is why she then later on decided to make everything right. But later on, Minnie May in the next episode was kind of trying to sabotage her, and not in a mean way, but she was now acting exactly how Diana was acting before previously, because she thought that being yourself is not the way through which you get things. And Diana learned her lesson after watching to Minnie May, and she reflected upon herself, and she understood that pleasing everybody else would not let her live a life which she wanted in her core. So instead of pleasing others, instead of behaving in a way everybody wants her to behave, she started acting the way she wanted to. She started behaving the way she wanted to. But later on in this scene, wherein Minnie May was found in season 3, episode 9, wherein Minnie May kind of sabotaged her, wherein she was just going to help Anne in this one clip. And she just called her mom and told her that see what Diana is doing. She's just going away from the house without getting your permission, and her mom kind of scolded her, and then Minnie May flipped her and said, yeah, I don't even know why she's acting like it. I don't even know why she behaves like this. And that kind of made me think she's acting exactly how Diana did before. That because earlier Diana was doing everything she could do in order to please others, and Minnie May is doing the exact same thing. And after watching the dynamic of those two sisters, I kind of, in a way, reflect upon my own life, because I think my and my sister's dynamic is kind of like Minnie May and Diana. We have a good family, we have everything set up in a way, and we have to follow rules and orders, obviously not very strict as Diana's, but it is indeed in a way structured like that. And obviously Diana's parents want the best for both of these girls, and but Diana, on the other hand, is hanging out with crowds which want different things, and in ways it influences her own mind, her own process of thinking as well, and which is why she wants to do different things. And here, I think in my household, also things also happened in a similar way, wherein my sister was developing a mind of her own, but she was not knowing as to what it is that is right or wrong. So in ways, she used to always do things which were in a way kind of self-sabotaging for her. Obviously, our stories are not very much linked to that of Diana and her sisters, but in a way they are. So as I was explaining, my sister was figuring life out, and which is why she was doing a lot of things which sabotaged her own self-growth journey. And I looked back when I was a kid, I was a very keen observant girl, and I observed things very much because I was not much of a speaker back when I was a kid. I just used to sit and observe everything. Sorry. I just used to sit and observe all the adults acting up around me. My sister, I used to adore her back as a kid. But when I started noticing all these behaviors, all these patterns that she was doing, in order to just understand life, now I know it that she was just understanding life. But back then I thought, why is she acting like that? Back when I was younger, and I used to look at her for ideas, for inspiration, I was really blown out by the fact is why was she acting like that. And I, on the other hand, after looking at her, thought I would never act like that because I don't like how she is acting, and I thought I'll act the exact opposite of her, and that is what I did. But you know what I understood now after a lot of thought is you can't just look at somebody and decide your life as in comparison to that person. If that person is doing one thing which does not go hand in hand as per your values or your family's values, I think you just let that person be, and just let them figure out their own way of life and their own life. And you, on the other hand, please don't just constantly compare your life with this one person you have grown up admiring. And in my case, it was my sister. So why I say that is because it is a tendency of younger sibling to just look at their older siblings, or just look at anybody who's elder around them and who plays with them, and act and try and act in a way in which it is they just act like them. That is what I meant to say. And they honestly don't really have a personality of your own. I can clearly say it from my example because I was that kid. I think to an extent I am. It's just thankfully to God that I'm getting I am getting this wisdom wherein I am becoming self-aware, which is why I could just think about all of these topics. I know I'm not explaining it in a way in which it is understandable, but I'm trying my best. But yeah, I'm improving day by day, at least. That is what gives me hope. But what I meant to say is, younger siblings tend to look at their older siblings and portray their life similar to them, or compare their life with their older siblings, or just do the exact opposite, or just behave like them because they think that that could get you your parents' validation. And a lot of these things work on parents' validation, because at the end of the day we don't really know what it is that we are working towards. We don't really have a purpose, and which is why everything we feel like we should do is for our own parents' validation. And I think that is wrong, obviously, because as you grow you figure all these things out, all these big terms out, wherein you know that you have to do certain things because they are the purpose of your life. And obviously you can't really know that at a very young age. You just know that you have to please these two human beings who have given birth you, and that is fine at that age. But I think as you grow, as you develop your thinking, you must also really give all of these quite a thought, and just figure why are you behaving in a way which could be harmful to you, or which could not align with your own values. Because at the end of the day, if you keep acting like the older people who are around you, you are just simply not going to be happy in life, or you are just simply not going to be satisfied in your life. Because as in that particular scene that I watched right now, which is why I got inspired to film this quick bit. So in that particular video, Diana realized she was doing a mistake. She was not acting in the way that she should have, and then she rectified her mistake. But on the other hand, Minnie got an idea as to, if she's acting like this and she is getting praised by all the adults around her, maybe I should also act like that, so that I could also get praised by my mom. Because her mom was blabbering to her and telling her to behave like your older sister, but she could see everything that her older sister was not behaving correctly as per the morals. but then she figured out in order to get parents' validation you have to act like that. And then in this particular clip that I watched, she was acting like that, and that was really so sad to see, because she was behaving somebody she should not at from a very young age, wherein Diana got her own time to figure her own life out, and on the other hand Minnie is now just looking at her own sister and thinking of acting like that, and growing up she will just not know what her real personality is, and she will have to put in a lot of efforts in order to find her real personality. But it's okay, at the end of the day she will find out, but it will indeed be a very long journey, and that's sad. And I think that happened to me to some extent, because all my life I've grown up watching her, and I thought I would wanna have certain traits or don't have certain traits like her, but I didn't really got my own time to figure my life out, to just know who I am without all these external people around me. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, I love everybody with whom I live right now, but I would really love to know who I am without the without the ideologies or the things these people tell me that I am. I would really want to know that answer if it came from me, from within. I would really like to have that answer. So yeah, that is what I meant to say right now. That is what I felt like talking. And if you are listening to this right now, and if you are a younger sibling, then please make sure to just become aware of this fact, and just try to develop your own sense of thinking, wherein you could really give your brain some food to think about all of these things that you behave sometimes. So yeah, that is what I felt like talking. So that is what I just talked right now. I think I'll just resume watching that series once again. And yeah, with this, bye bye.